Hey, Mr. Paul, sir. How are you? What brings you to Antioch?
No time, Mark. Where is Peter?
The last time I saw him, he was on the roof.
The roof? Okay, I'll go out there and find him. Peter.
I'm up here. Paul, what brings you out here?
Peter, have you not received my letters? I just received word that we are still having the same issues with the Jews and Gentiles. I don't understand how you don't see how clear this is. Peter, we've been over this before. The Gentiles are saved through faith in Christ. Faith, that's what brings salvation, not the law, not circumcision. You know this as well as I do. It's not about a mark on the body, but about the circumcision of the heart. Didn't the Spirit fall upon them the same way it did on us?
Getting straight to the point, I see. I know, Paul. I've seen it myself. God shows no partiality. He gave them the Spirit just as He gave it to us. I also had a vision of these things. But the Jewish believers, they're struggling. Some of the practices of the Gentiles are difficult for them to accept. Things we've been taught since we were children, foods, rituals, customs, they don't just disappear overnight. It's hard for them to see Gentiles as equals when they don't follow the same laws, pausing uncertain. The traditions we grew up in, they're not easy to throw away.
Peter, listen to me. I understand the weight of our traditions. Believe me, I understand. But do you remember what God showed you? The vision of the sheet with all kinds of animals, clean and unclean, and the voice saying, "What God has made clean, do not call common." That wasn't just about food, it was about people. The Gentiles, Peter, they've been made clean by the blood of Christ. I've been traveling with Luke this entire time, and I'll let you know that he is an exemplary follower of Christ. You can meet him later when he wants to meet with some family. We can't bind them to the old law when Christ has fulfilled it. They are our brothers and sisters, not because of circumcision, but because of faith. The law is good, yes, but it cannot save. Only Jesus can.
I don't disagree with you, Paul, but it's hard for our people. These are the customs we've lived by for generations, the very things that set us apart as God's chosen. How can we just cast them aside? How can we expect Jewish believers to accept Gentiles who don't follow these same customs? It feels unnatural. These are the traditions that shaped us. Would we just throw them away?
Peter, didn't you throw everything away when you followed Christ? We all did. You left your nets, your home, your life to follow him. And you know better than anyone that Christ didn't come to destroy the law, but to fulfill it. The law still has its place, but when it comes to salvation, we're not saved by the law, we're saved by grace through faith. That's the message we preach. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things are new. We're a new creation in Christ, Peter. You know that. We can't hold on to the old ways when God is doing something new.
I hear you, Paul. And I know the Gentiles are part of this new work God is doing. But I fear we're going to lose our Jewish brothers and sisters along the way. It's not just about salvation, it's about unity. They're struggling to understand how the law fits into all of this.
Peter, the law is good. It reveals God's holiness, it guides our lives, and we honor it. But salvation? That's a different matter entirely. The law was our guardian, but it was never meant to be the final word. Jesus is the final word. His voice grows more urgent. The souls of these Gentiles matter more than the practices of the Jewish people. Their faith, their lives, these are what's at stake. We can't burden them with laws they were never meant to carry. They've been grafted into this family of God, just as we have. Shouldn't that be enough?
You're right, Paul. You're right. Christ has made us all clean, Jew and Gentile alike. I can't deny what I've seen, what God has done in them. But it will take time for some of our people to understand this. We'll need patience, but I see your point. The Gentiles are part of this, and we can't force them to follow the old ways when Christ has made a new way for all of us. We'll preach the truth of salvation by faith, but we must also be patient with our Jewish brothers. They need time to understand. They need time to accept, time to...
I agree. Unity is essential, and we need to be patient. But we cannot compromise the truth of the gospel. Christ is enough, Peter. That's the message we carry. Christ is enough for the Jew and the Gentile alike. Why don't we do this? Why don't we create 3 things that the Gentiles must abstain from that will at least alleviate the immediate issue? Something like not having idols and abstaining from fornication is a good place to start.
You always are bold, Paul. I'm glad you're with us in this.
I'm glad we're in this together, Peter. We're stronger when we stand as one, Jew and Gentile, united in Christ.